Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. This is the charts of the day. It's the 21st of July. And that's Thursday night. Another big day in Wall Street today. A lot of our stocks had good days. I do want to show you some that are moving, some that look promising. Achillion Pharmaceuticals, ACHN, which popped last month. We showed you that. Pulled back, popped again, and then pulled back again. Finally popped one more time and may have broken out of this wedge pattern, jumping 81 cents or nearly 11% on 1/3 million shares today. That's the best volume in about a week and a half. With technicals near the top of the window, it looks like this stock is headed for at least 935 and maybe as high as 11 short term. BPAX, really nice setup, beautiful long rising channel here. It hit the top of that channel, backed off, and formed a beautiful week and a half long flag on low volume with great technicals. It looks like it's going to explode out of this and move into the 4.5 range, my next trading target. Clean energy. I wanted to show you this because of the uniqueness of the two huge gaps with the sharp pullback that filled one gap, and now it's backing and filling in a tight narrow range, forming a little flag or consolidation, but the overall pattern is kind of a wedge. So it should be interesting to see if this gets over 16, 20, 25, whether it can accelerate and then retest and take out the 18 level. Target is 19 and then 22 on clean energy. CSII broke out of the flag, been edging higher. Yesterday was a really quiet inside day. Today reversed to close near the highs for the session, at the high actually. And although volume was low, if it gets out across the 15, 70, 75 range, I expect it's going to accelerate. I'm looking for a move to 18, 19. Heat had a big day today, popping across the lateral price resistance that held it back for the last 7 weeks and the 50-day declining moving average, and ran right up to secondary resistance before closing right there. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of follow through we had. But more importantly, it was up 49% on 5.5 million, by far the biggest volume this year. And as far as I can see, the biggest volume since this one day here about a year and a half ago. So perhaps a reversal in trend. The stock may be accelerating here. We can see our next target at 2.5, followed by 3.25. Hansen looking pretty good and very good actually in a nice rising channel. Which may start to accelerate here. If it gets up through this zone, we can see a run up towards about the 650 area. That's my first trading target for Hansen. Imperial sugar in a beautiful rising channel, initiated here, strong run, wedge or coil, broke out from the little flag today. It popped out and then back right off to that breakout point. Still up on the day, 39 cents, but well off the highs. Would like to see what happens if this extends, and I'm looking for a move up towards 29.30 for Imperial sugar. What do you know? Kandi came alive the last few days, and today up another 42 cents or up 15% on 1.1 million shares. That's big volume for that stock. More importantly, finally, the declining tops line going back 8 or 9 months and lateral price resistance were taken out, secondary resistance taken out, and today closed right at third level of key resistance near the 320.25 range. If we can follow through here, we may see a run to the 4, 4.25 range. And then beyond that, something up around 5, 5.5. But more importantly, let's see what happens here, whether we get a pullback. If it's a pullback in a general one in a flag type pattern, it may be an entry opportunity. MCP had an important day. The declining tops line here was taken out, and so was the wedge pattern, and so was the 50-day moving average. So perhaps we'll get some follow through. But the stock closed not too far off the highs for the day, up 408 or 7.5% on 5.2 million shares, the biggest volume in a couple weeks. Let's see if we can extend through and take out the $60 range. Next target is 66. As a result, that whole group may run. MPEL, Melco Crown, edging higher nearly every day, up another 29 cents today to 15.29. It did get to 15.58. That was a new multi-year high, going all the way back to the end of 07, so 3.5-year high. Looking good though, and there's some resistance up in this area, but if we get it to extend, we may see the top of the channel that would measures right now about 17. That's my short-term target. Big day for Morgan Stanley and the rest of the banking group. The large investment banks and large banking institutions like Wells Fargo and JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley all had big days today. Look at the gap and the breakaway through the declining tops line, 50-day moving average, and lateral price resistance, all in well one day up 248 or 11.4% on 65.7 million. By far the biggest volume this year, and from what I can see, the biggest volume in about 2.5 years. So big day today. Let's see if we get a follow through. The next target on Morgan Stanley is up around 26.5. PCYC continues to defy gravity and stair-step its way higher nearly every day, approaching my target of 15. I think we get there, 14.5, 15 zone. PKT coming out of at the apex of a wedge, popped yesterday late and backed off, gapped up today and backed off, but still up 54 cents or nearly 5%. 750,000 shares, the biggest volume on an up day, going back to early April. So significant in that with the channel the way it's constructed here, we could see a run up towards 17, my target, once it gets through near-term resistance around 13.5. Raptor Pharmaceuticals up another small fraction today, but you can see how it's edging higher. It looks to me like it wants to go again. I'm still looking for 7 3/4, 8 for RPTP. Monster day again for SINO Global, although it finally got some profit taking, having gone from yesterday's low about $1.62 to today's high at $9.16. That's less than a day and a couple hours. Amazing. I wanted to show you though that the pullback did occur and that the stock could pull back some more, but there's support around the 4.5 zone, and if you do get a pullback towards 4.5, 5, it may be interesting for a snapback trade. TSTF, TeamStaff, been really moving nicely. After the pop here and the 5-day flag, it's been accelerating for 3 days, having moved from $1.60 to today's high at $3.25 just in the last couple sessions. We've reached lateral price resistance here and have accelerated through the top of the channel, so we may see some sort of pullback consolidation. But the long-term implications of this is that a major declining channel has been broken and 2 levels of resistance have been tested. The next level is up around the $4 range, and then beyond that around 7, 7.25. XPO, big day for this, a big week. Continues to move nicely. This falling wedge was broken with a pop 2 days ago, followed through yesterday, and it took out the early July high today, reaching the top of the short-term channel and not far from the top of the longer-term channel up here. We may see that as high as 4 3/4 short-term. And that's it for this evening. Oh, there's one other I skipped. Sorry about that. I wanted to show you VRX. Swing trade Valiant finally took out this 4-month consolidation range and pulled back for a day or two out quietly on low volume, and today popped $1.34, which makes it a new multi-year and all-time high, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, it's right up against at least a 10-year high anyway. The highest level reached in 01, and a move through this zone right here could explode this into the low and mid-60s. And that's it for this evening and for this week. Have a good weekend, everybody.